All right, a second night of mall violence, hundreds of juveniles converging on a Philadelphia mall after organizing the disruption on social media. Police prevented the majority from entering, but, dozens made it inside. 4 teens were arrested. This incident just the latest in at least a dozen mall brawls nationwide. Fox News radio host Todd Starnes, author of the book, The Deplorables Guide to Making America Great Again, thinks unsupervised minors should be banned from the malls. Fox News contributor Rachel Campos-Duffy, she disagrees. All right, let's get some specifics here. How old would you have to be to go to the mall unsupervised in your view?
Well, I think anyone under the age of 18.
Wow.
And that is not something that Todd Starnes came up with. There's an industry group called the International Council of Shopping Centers, and they have a security task force. Right now, 100 malls around the country have these bans already in place. Look, Paul Blart mall cops should not have to wear body armor to monitor what happens at your local shopping mall.
Sure, I agree, but that sure doesn't suggest we have much faith in our youth here. If you're 17 and a half years old and you need an escort to the mall, Todd.
It's not so much the kids, it's the moms and dads. We're talking about a parenting issue here. Many of these parents are treating the mall as a babysitter. This is a shopping center. This is a place of commerce. And I know a lot of people are talking about the shoppers, but what about the people who own those businesses who were not allowed to engage in commerce because the mall was shut down by these
you're talking about parenting.
kids.
I just want to point out, and Rachel, you have a lot of kids. I was never allowed growing up to go hang out at the mall, but I did have some friends whose parents allowed them to do that. Fortunately, it was back in the day when people didn't act like this in malls all across America, as we saw recently this week. But Rachel, you say Todd's a little being a little too much here. How do we really address this? And in your view, why is a curfew not the answer, or rather a supervision not the answer?
Well, first of all, I don't disagree with him that at the root of this is a parenting problem, and it is a nationwide problem. There's just a lack of respect for authority and adults, and it's these lazy parents and their unruly kids that are ruining the shopping experience for so many people. I think it should be on a case-by-case basis. There's certainly malls and areas that are being more affected, and we have seen that some of this has been coordinated on social media as well. So I think it depends, but I think the malls are in a really tough spot, Trish. On the one hand, if you ban children from going in, or teenagers from going into the mall, they won't ever have the mall shopping experience that I had as a teen. And look, they're already facing a lot of competition from online retailers, and so that's a big dilemma for the malls right now.
Absolutely. You think about some of these retail shops, these teen retailers, they specialize in teenage business, Todd.
And that is the big concern here. What happens if you implement the curfew? Will you lose those teen shoppers? Will they go online to buy their purchases? Yeah. On Tuesday, a task force was convened by the shopping centers organization. And that was the big topic of discussion. Do they implement more mall security? Do they implement these bans on kids under the age of 18? Again, 100 shopping centers already have those bans in place, Trish, and the bans are actually working. So they've been able to cut down on that violence.
So seriously, if you're 17 and a half years old and you're not allowed to go to the stores by yourself?
In many malls, that's what they're saying, simply because they can't control all of these kids and they don't know what's going to happen. So they err on the side of caution.
I got to say, though, Rachel, you see this video, it's nuts. It's nuts.
It is. I was just going to say, I saw the video, and this is what I have to say. Shame on those kids and shame on their parents. There was a time when you could see a kid acting unruly at a mall. You could walk up to them. You could tell them to stop being disrespectful, and you wouldn't be afraid of getting hit or attacked in the process. These kids have attacked the police officers. This is a really very bad situation, but I do think it should be taken on a case-by-case basis. There are malls across America, in my town here in Wausau, where these kinds of things don't happen, and a ban, I think, would be actually detrimental to the retailers.
Thank you so much. It's good to see both you guys.
Thanks.